way too hot. Spiritual strength through self-denial. Fast discipline. What the heck does this mean? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 230 of our Supersize You annual challenge. And today and all this month, we're focusing on the area of the life framework, spirituality, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence are the 9 areas of the life framework that I've been sharing since at least 2020. I shared them before then, but there were only 7. Didn't become 9 until 2021 when I was getting some coaching and training in core skills that are important for any of us in any area or aspect of our life. They make our relationships better. Remember, everything's interconnected. So what the heck does fast discipline mean? And what does discipline have to do with anything? Well, I have found through lots and lots of years here on planet Earth that when we stop doing something that we're used to habitually doing, it frees up space in our mind and our life very often where other things can come in. Meaning we can have epiphanies or ahas or realizations or lessons that we learn from experiences we've had that we haven't been paying attention to because our life is either numbed or dulled in some way, shape, or form. And I'll give you an example. Fasting is what the topic kind of is today, but by fasting, I don't just mean giving up food or something. I mean giving up something in your life that is taking up more time and energy than it's actually giving you in return in terms of value or benefit. My biggest example of this is caffeine. When I was at my busiest and my most crazy and psycho, I was consuming probably 2 pots of coffee a day and then the equivalent of at least a 2-liter of Diet Coke, Diet Soda, Diet Pop of some way, shape, or form. So I was pretty much living on caffeine and just running through my life. And it's interesting that just over a month after going cold turkey on caffeine, meaning coffee and Diet Pop, gave up Diet Pop actually once and for all. And the health event sort of sealed the deal for me on that. And I haven't had pop since, which is interesting because I was definitely a caffeine, coffee, and diet soda addicted person because that just it gave me a little boost of energy and kept me going through my days. I don't recommend it. The kids nowadays drink the energy drinks or the young people nowadays, my kids in their 30s drink energy drinks every day. And I'm like, I don't think that stuff can be good for you. And I will admit, back in the day, I did drink some sugar-free energy drinks. This was before I gave up pop. But I used to get really bad headaches. And a health expert friend of ours in a business that we were in together said, it's because of the sugar alcohol in it. A lot of people have an intolerance for that. So then I gave those up and never drank those again. But today we're thinking about what is something we can give up. And we're only going to give it up for 24 hours. Don't freak out. I'm not going to ask you to give it up for a week. I'm not going to ask you to give it up forever. I'm going to ask you to test it. I have a couple stories about this. I don't remember, it was in the 1980s. I went through a training called Louis Tice training, and we were encouraged to give up the news for a week. Guess what? I have watched the news a handful of times since the 1980s. Why? Because I realized it was feeding my brain all kinds of junk I didn't need. And remember, this was decades ago when the news was actually still sort of the news. And you could actually believe or trust some of the things you heard on your television set. Nowadays, all bets are off. So like I always say, I will encourage you to think for yourself and not be swayed by anything outside of you unless you know that it's got your best interest at heart. Hint, hint. Media does not have our best interests at heart. It's a business, and they will do and say anything to get the most viewers. That's the metrics that they measure, and to make the most advertising dollars. So does that mean they're telling us everything that's in it for us? No, absolutely not. But have they convinced an entire portion of the population that they are? Absolutely. So fasting means I'm going to give something up. And is that self-denial? If I'm choosing it, it's like sacrificing. I don't believe that we're sacrificing anything, like going out with our friends on Friday night or whatever the bro marketers like to say when they're pushing their programs. If I'm choosing, I'm not sacrificing. If I'm choosing to work on my business or read a book or stay home because I want to sharpen my saw and increase my skills in some area aspect of my life, I'm not sacrificing all of the other things that I didn't do because I was choosing to do that. I am choosing to do what's in alignment with me, my goals, my objectives, what I want out of my life. And that is the ultimate freedom in terms of personal power and freedom. Choice. We all have choice. And if we give that away by buying into negative emotions and doubt and lack and scarcity, who do we have to blame for that? Just ourselves. Ouch. I know some of the things that we think of when we're taking a break from certain habits, it's incredible, the enlightenment and the things that we'll see that we weren't able to see before because our judgment and our vision was clouded. So, personal challenge today. What are we going to do? We are going to fast from something for 24 hours. We could pick social media. If you're social media, it could be gaming if you're young and you are one of these people that loves games, or all of the different online games that social media has put into people's heads as something that they have to do every day. I'm not even going to make a judgment on that. You have to decide what's right for you. If alcohol, drugs, that to me, that's a given. Give that up for 24 hours. And then just keep going like I did with the news. But pick something, share in the comments below what it is so we can encourage you and help you to stick to it. If you're having a hard time, come back and put a comment and look for somebody that will reach out and support you. Because I'll tell you what, diet pop, I don't know how I did it. I honestly don't know. I mean, sheer willpower for the first probably 10 days and massive migraines going through the caffeine withdrawal. And I think that pain was enough to remind me that I just don't want to go there again. So ask yourself, what am I dependent on? What is one habit or one thing I'm dependent on that isn't in my favor? For me, it was caffeine. Maybe it's watching television. Maybe it's a certain show that you're addicted to. Guess what? If it's streaming, take a break. Take a 24-hour break from it and see what comes to you, what clarity you have, what ideas pop into your head, what self-talk you're having, and share in the comments below your biggest lesson learned. Do that. Come back tomorrow and do that. I think that would be so powerful for each and every one of us to do. I don't know what I'm going to do yet today. I'm not sure what I'm going to give up. I can think of things I want to give up, but I'm not going to because they're good for me and good for my business and good for my life and good for my health. All right. Any questions? Hit me up and ask. Otherwise, make it an amazing day. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. You got it.